Hi dancers, welcome to week 5 of remote learning and happy May. This week I'm going to talk about the spring recital. I'm going to talk about grades and missing assignments. I'm going to talk about office hours, and instead of ending this week with some dancing, I'm going to end this week with some of my favorite anime recommendations. So stay tuned and here we go. Although we weren't able to end the year with our stage performance, I still want us to do a spring recital. And what I plan to do is to make a music video of everyone's clips. So a small clip from this person, a small clip from this person, and I'm going to combine them into a music video. And I promise to choose the best parts. It will look like this. Now, you can record in your kitchen, you can record outside, you can record in your living room. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you do your best. So when you're ready to film, don't put so much pressure to be perfect. All you need to do is review the routines, practice full movement, and when you film, you can actually play the video on your computer and follow along. You don't necessarily have to have it memorized completely. And when I go to splice the music together, I will put the actual song in. So even if your dog is barking in the background, no worries, because no one's going to hear it. Just focus on the dancing and you'll be fine. Let's talk about grades. What you'll notice in the gradebook this week is that I've transitioned our remote learning assignments to incorporate into the actual gradebook. So that way, when you complete your remote learning assignments, you'll see your grade go up now. Why is this important? It's to honor the work that you're doing during remote learning, and also to give you the chance to bring up your grade in a really meaningful way. And in honoring your work, I want to make sure that the work that you do averages your grade higher. There are some classes who are taking an extra credit approach and are like, points for you, points for you, points for you. And there was some, like my grade book, where I was waiting till DPS made some decisions on how the grades are going to look. So now that it's really clear on the direction that we're going, I've transitioned our grade book to reflect the goals of remote learning. Now, although remote learning can help bring up your grade, I have a strong recommendation to you for those of you who really want to get an A in my class. So if, for example, you have 2 assignments, you have an old assignment before remote learning started, and we have a remote learning assignment here. Well, if you just complete one of the assignments, it will get you halfway, right? So for example, maybe if you had a C and you complete one of the 2 assignments, a remote learning assignment, it brings you up to a B. But if you really want to get an A, you have to complete both assignments, the assignment from earlier in the semester and the assignments during remote learning. Yes, you can complete any assignment you may have missed any time during the semester, even if it was back in January. If you're going to complete an old assignment, you must meet me during office hours so you and I can agree to a plan. It's important that you demonstrate the specific skill of that assignment. For example, if it's a West African assignment, I want to make sure I guide you towards a West African lesson. If it's a ballet assignment, I want to make sure I guide you towards a ballet lesson. My goal is for you to develop the skills that meet the standards of our class. So that way, if you choose to go from dance 1 to dance 2, you'll be all set. Or if you choose not to continue in dance, you'll at least walk away with a strong foundation of dance knowledge. Let's talk about mindsets. So why is it important to bring your grade up? Well, the number one thing is that it affects your GPA. Dance class is weighted the same as a science class or a history class or a math class. So if you get an A in dance class, it's the same as getting an A in science class and your GPA goes up. It's because DPS is structured around a credit system. Dance is worth 1 PE credit or 1 fine arts credit. Either way, the grade is important to improve your GPA. So for any student with a D, an F, or a C, I really recommend to you to make up those assignments and come talk to me during office hours. Now, what if you're a student who has an A or a B and you're like, well, Mr. D, remote learning doesn't really count? Well, because I'm talking about mindsets, I really encourage you to still do the remote learning assignments. I've continued our curriculum in a really meaningful way that it would have looked like if we were at South. So not only will you develop the skills of a dancer, I've made it meaningful so it's fun, and also I want your participation for this week because it's our spring recital, and that feels like community to me, and I want you a part of our community. So come join us. If you have any questions about grades, let me know, and we can chat during office hours, or feel free to message me. I'll definitely get back to you. This week, I invite you to come say hi during office hours. As a reminder, they are Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to noon and 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And I want you to come say hi, and how about we have a fun time? So this week, bring your childhood stuffed animal, or whichever one is your favorite stuffed animal, and let me introduce you to mine right now. This is Bobo. I got Bobo when I was 5 years old, and now that I'm almost 35 years old, I've given my Bobo to my oldest daughter, Harlow, and it's now hers, and she loves it. So come say hi during office hours. We could check in on missing assignments, come and introduce me to your favorite stuffed animal, and really, it could just be for 2 minutes, but just pop in. I'll see you all then. So as you may have heard at the beginning of the year, I am a huge anime fan. I was first introduced to it my senior year, and I remember Cartoon Network having an all-day marathon of Dragon Ball Z, and I got hooked immediately. At the time, I didn't even know what I was watching, but I thought it was so amazing. And so then I moved on to different shows and have been a fan ever since. So this week I'm going to make some of my favorite anime recommendations, and I'm going to make them some of the current series, so that way you can talk to some of your friends and seem cool. So I recommend these 7 animes. First, Made in Abyss, but it's kind of gory, so be ready for that one. Secondly, Demon Slayer, another gory one, but not as bad as Made in Abyss. But it also won the best anime of the year last year. I recommend Sword Art Online for those of you who are into video games. It's about a character getting stuck in a video game world and trying to get out. Some really mainstream anime that people are really into are Food Wars, Black Clover, and My Hero Academia. And lastly, although it's not necessarily a Japanese-made anime, but it has a feeling of anime, is Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is coming to Netflix pretty soon. So that's it for this week. I hope you have an awesome week. Let's do some really great work, and I'll see you all later.